Lately, I've been bouncing between tools again, and it's killing my output. It's exhausting. These tools are meant to help your productivity, and they've actively destroyed mine. This new to-do list app search started when I fell for the Obsidian and Claude Code hype. I wanted a task manager with a URL scheme so that I could link tasks in the note, and then link the note in the task, similar to how I've been using Apple Notes and reminders. I went and revisited some familiar tools of days past and even watched some of my own old videos to see if there was any insight in there about the tool that I've chosen. This video started out as a state of to-do list applications thought in my head, but turns out I only figured out one thing with to-do list applications. With Notes apps, I am living the struggle all over again with Obsidian. Let's start out with all of the options that I've tried out recently, including reminders, things, Todoist, Notion, and maybe some apps you haven't even heard of yet. Then I'll move on to key things that I've learned in this experiment and how it relates to spiraling out of control when picking an app. Starting with Apple Reminders. I love that Reminders has connection to Apple Calendar. Seeing my tasks on my calendar alongside all of my other events has been one of the biggest productivity hacks that I've implemented over the years. There have been third-party solutions that have allowed you to do this for many years, including Fantastical. And recently, I think it was iOS 18, that Apple updated Reminders and Calendar to be able to show your reminders inside of the Apple Calendar app. Siri input for Apple Reminders is actually not all that bad and works pretty well, especially when you're on the go. And the Kanban board is one of the best features and most utilized for me. Linked Notes, the ability to link Apple Notes to reminders, has been huge as well for my workflow. I obviously do a lot of writing, both for my newsletter and the podcast and this channel, and being able to jump from reminders to my notes gives me a system that works similar to something like Notion, but inside of the Apple ecosystem and entirely for free. Couple downsides though, Reminders isn't a perfect app. There is not a URL scheme, so it's a little hard to link tasks back to notes. So inside of Apple Notes, I can't go put a link to my Apple Reminder to jump back in and check something off. Rescheduling is a little bit more difficult than other apps. It takes a lot of clicks in Apple Reminders to, toggle dates and times, especially on Mac. It's more difficult than it needs to be. The default options that they give you of rescheduling to, today, tomorrow, this weekend, or next week are helpful, but, generally that puts it on a specific day. And if you wanted to pick a date outside of those range, you have to then click custom and then click the date, then, put in a time. And it's just way more headache than it's worth if you're not using those sorts of days. So what I've been doing, I'll schedule something for next week and then I'll go into the calendar and drag it where I want it to be. Unfortunately, that's the easiest way to do scheduling, which, scheduling is the other thing that is a little bit more difficult than other apps. You can't drag and increase the time on calendar yet. So by default, a reminder shows up as a half-hour, basically, event on your calendar. And you can't really do time blocking with reminders inside of calendar yet. I would love to see drag and drop become a thing onto calendar so you could time block. So just have reminders and calendar up and drag the reminder over into the day that I want and have them sync. Hopefully Apple starts to continue working on integrating these apps in a better fashion. Recurring tasks and reminders are pretty generic. They work as expected. There's no power user features, though, that we'll talk about in the Todoist and some of the other app sections. Smart lists are a little bit meh, is my thoughts. I have one big creative list where everything is. So my newsletters, podcasts, short form videos, and YouTube videos. I would have loved to be able to tag each one of those things. Like this is a TikTok, and then just have another smart list that pulls all of those TikToks together and then keeps the Kanban board view as it is in the main creative list. Unfortunately, if you do that, it'll pull the tag into the smart list. You'd have to create all of those section headers manually and move the task along inside of the smart list, and then it could be disconnected in a different spot on your main list. So that's a little bit of a downside, kind of a nit, probably a niche feature, but it would be helpful to have. in this app. The last two upsides to Apple Reminders are obviously that it's free and it's on all of your Apple devices. So the sync is robust. I don't have any problems with any sort of lagging sync. You open up the app, all of your tasks are there. You can check something off on your phone, go to your computer, do some more subtasks, pull up it on your iPad, and just everything works seamlessly across all of your devices. Then there's Things 3, which objectively has the best interface, and it just makes you want to open the app and check tasks off, which is a good thing. The app that you pull up with no friction and that you enjoy using is probably the app for you. Recurring tasks are also just okay in Things. I don't have any problems with them. They work okay. And there's a few more tweaks that you can do with recurring tasks in Things that you can't do in Reminders, like recur upon prior completion. So, it'll set the next occurrence based on when you last completed the task, which can be helpful in certain instances. One of the biggest downsides to Things for me, though, is that it doesn't have Kanban support at all. Cultured Code has been kind of lax with adding features over the years. Like they've made good updates to Things, but stubborn in certain ways for sure, which it's a one-time paid application, which is unique in this current app landscape that we have. So largely we're lucky to have received the updates that we have gotten over the years, but it's not like a subscription app where you're getting new things all of the time. Things on Mac has a persistent task shortcut key that lets you put tasks in from anywhere, which is one of the easiest ways to get things in, and it's more project-based than anything. So I found that it works best for things that have start and finish dates, because each list kind of has a little circle with your total completion date. So it does get a little bit weird when you start doing recurring tasks that, like a weekly review pops up and it's one day out of the week. You kind of check everything off and then it goes away. And it's not a free app. I mentioned that it's a one-time paid service, but it has different apps for Mac, iPad, and iPhone. So there is some startup cost here, but you're not locked into a recurring subscription, and you get a great, fully functioning piece of software, which what I've been asking for more recently than a subscription app that you're tied to for the rest of your life. Speaking of subscription apps, then we go to Todoist, which is a recurring subscription. However, it has the best natural language input of any of these apps. So you can just type in, take out the trash tomorrow, and it automatically picks up tomorrow. But there's a big learning curve in Todoist with how it wants you to type things in. So there's a lot of power in the natural language input. You can, do tags, you can send things to specific lists, but some of those aren't as intuitive as you would think. Like you type $sign or the hashtag, that actually send it to a project, and in order to get a tag, you have to use the @ symbol, and then it sort of uses Markdown as well. So there are a lot of different ways that you can like put links inside of tasks and set up recurring tasks with keywords as you're typing in the task with natural language input, but there's a lot to learn. It also has persistent task entry across the Mac ecosystem with a keyboard shortcut similar to how Things works, and it works great. If you're just working along and you need to type something in, you can bring up the window, type it in, get it into your list so you don't forget it, and you can organize it later. And if Things is an example of an interface that inspires you to get into the app and do some work, I think Todoist is the opposite. The interface is fine, but it's uninspiring and doesn't really make me want to open the app, although I was very productive while I was using it. And I already mentioned it has many power user features. The recurring tasks features inside of Todoist are more powerful than any other to-do list application. You can basically have full control of how you want it to repeat, when you want it to repeat, if you want it to repeat based on the last date that you completed it or just every day. And you can pull recurring tasks forward. So, they're repeating on a certain day each week, but if you did it early, it's easy to bring it in and check it off and have it then repeat on the correct day after that. But a lot of these features go over most people's heads. If you're just downloading a to-do list app and you want to check some things off, Todoist has way more features than probably the average user needs, including team collaboration. So if you are working with a team, Todoist is a great option. Reminders and things, or Reminders kind of does have some sharing abilities, but Things does not. It's totally a personal to-do list application. Todoist has calendar integration built in now with a Google Calendar two-way sync that I didn't really love. While I was using Todoist, I used Fantastical, which Todoist has full Fantastical support. You can incorporate your entire Todoist app profile into Fantastical and see all of your lists and tag all of your lists into the different calendar sets. And the final good thing that I loved about Todoist was that it has a cool noise when you check off tasks. So from that standpoint, it was a little bit rewarding, and I checked off hundreds, if not thousands, of tasks while using Todoist over the years. Now onto TickTick, which I was originally hesitant because it was a Chinese-owned app, and I have given it a chance since then. It's a cheaper subscription than Todoist. It also makes a cool noise when you check off tasks, but it acts more like an all-in-one tasks app than it does just, a specific niche. So it has tasks, it has a Kanban board view, it has calendar built in, there's Pomodoro timers, there's habit trackers. The interface was fine. I also didn't find it uninspiring, and I actually found it was a little bit difficult to differentiate between main tasks and subtasks and get main tasks and subtasks in, especially when you're in a Kanban board view. Everything's kind of the same font. I prefer the Kanban board view of reminders where, the main task is a little bit more bold. It's clear what subtasks are. For TickTick, the Plan My Day feature, I think, is a standout feature. It's sort of what I want, the reminders and calendar integration to be inside of Apple. You can click through and go through your day and say, I'm going to do this task today. I'm not going to do this task today. I'm going to postpone this, put this in my someday view. It's really easy to get through kind of a long list of tasks, especially if your inbox is full, and figure out what you're actually going to do for the day. Sort of like a mini, stand-up meeting for yourself, if you will. This is the most important thing. I have to do this today, and the rest of the stuff is just nice to haves. So from that standpoint, it's been good. I mean, the cost is really inexpensive. And if you needed a little bit more power than Apple Reminders, and if you needed a URL scheme, TickTick has that. So it links with things like Obsidian. You can have the link to your tasks inside of the Obsidian note. You can link the Obsidian note via URL to your TickTick task. So good little integration there. And I like that as well. Then onto Notion, which is kind of like a make-your-own task manager. Notion is a totally flexible system, yes, but it is not really a good task manager, at least not the way that I have it set up. It's not offline. It takes time to build. The reminders can kind of be hit or miss. You can definitely do task management inside of Notion, but it wouldn't be my recommendation. And then onto something called Stuff, which is a newcomer indie app. It's a single developer building. I found them on Threads, sort of like a things like interface. Obviously, the development is active. Right now, there's no Kanban board. It is a paid subscription. It's also a pretty reasonable price. The Mac app is coming right now as I'm recording this. I think he's working on posting it and getting it live. So it's almost ready, but something that might be worth keeping an eye on, that, some of these, call them legacy programs. A legacy program like Things 3 just isn't getting updates. It's not getting the active development. This is an opportunity that you could join into the community and request features, use the app, give feedback. I think it works really well. It has a lot of good features. It's laid out nicely. It makes a lot of sense. And it's something to keep your eye on in the future. So now that was a lot of context for kind of what I've been looking for in a to-do list application, but what did I even learn here? Every time I switch apps, there's an overwhelming amount of friction. Going from a system that I've used every day for 3 years to a new app feels like starting over. It feels that way because that's exactly what it is. There's no muscle memory, no memorized keyboard shortcuts, not even a process for how to get information into and out of the app. And maybe the biggest thing is even replacing your apps on your phone's home screen instead of just continuing to click on the old app and wondering why the new one didn't stick. It's easy to switch apps these days. You can import and export your tasks so easily that this is no longer an issue. And generally, I've been pretty good at procrastinating. When setting schedules for this channel, I just have to give myself deadlines, because the more leeway I give myself, the longer the end product takes, which often doesn't equate to some giant leap forward in the quality of the video. One could reasonably argue that I should still be taking the move fast and break things approach at my current level, trying new topics, angles, titles, thumbnails, and cranking them out as fast as I can in order to get rapid audience feedback on what people want more of. In this case, searching for an app has become a form of procrastination and also frustration in my life. Frustrating not because I can't find a good app, I'm frustrated at myself for falling for this again. I've seen it time and time again, whether it's Apple Notes, Obsidian, Notion, Craft, Bear, back to Apple Notes, now back to Obsidian. It's the same story with tasks apps, from Todoist to Things to Todoist to Reminders to TickTick. When does it end? For me, it ends with Apple Reminders. Throughout all my testing, I did not find a single app that I liked using better than Reminders. I've already mentioned it's not perfect, and no app is. So despite its downsides, it's such a good free app that I just can't bring myself to stick with any of the other tools. They're all fine, but at the end of the day, so is Reminders. Since I've settled the to-do list app debate for myself, what am I still doing screwing around with Notes apps again then? I have another full video coming on the specifics, but the patterns here are relevant to this conversation. Oh look, a new thing! Shiny new object syndrome, peer pressure, and looking at people's perfect workspaces on social media have had a measurable impact on me. I'm not in this for the popularity points, but I do recognize that my system is not perfect and there might be something out there that works better. I also happen to enjoy trying new apps, and because of that I have the benefit of knowing right away if something is going to work and check all the boxes or not. A few apps get close and I have a clear criteria to measure against. Oftentimes people will comment on my social media posts and suggest new apps that I've already tried, and that too can become exhausting. I generally know people are trying to help, but if the perfect app existed, we would all be using that, and I would have to make videos about new hardware all the time or shill phone cases or something. That's the unsexy part about my system. It just works. It's not perfect, but it syncs between all of my devices. I have a to-do list and a calendar that work together to try their best to stop me from procrastinating, and I have a boatload of Notes apps with information scattered everywhere. Some things don't change. The features I use beat the impressive features from somebody else's workspace, and the best to-do list app is the one you'll open every day without thinking about it. For me, that's Apple Reminders, not because it's perfect, but because it's reliable, free, and integrated with the Apple ecosystem that I live in constantly. I'm still figuring out the Notes app side of this, but at least I've identified the pattern and can try to take steps to break it. More on that coming soon, but that's it for today. Get subscribed for more Apple tech and productivity videos. Until next time, later.